ParkEditor is the software for setting DSP parameters in TA series amplifiers. The software allows to customize settings both in online and offline mode. The editor allows make settings for large projects, which may include many amplifiers. The setting of all amplifiers are stored in one project and can be loaded to all amplifiers one by one. Let's try to set up a system which includes 3 amplifiers. Let's run the editor. At first, the setting is created offline without connected amplifiers. First of all, you need to add 3 amplifiers to the project. For better understanding, we will name the projects at once. Hall, Room 1, Room 2, Studio. Let's start the setting for the first amplifier, Hall. We name inputs and outputs according to our project. Input 1, Hall. Input 2, not connected. Outputs. We aim for 101.16. We aim for 102.8. We aim for 101.16. SA 601.4. Check what we've done. Next, we need to set the routing. Input 2 is not used. The signal from input 1 is applied to all outputs. We don't work with input equalization yet. It can be useful for further room setting. Now the output section. Since we use the loudspeakers which are available in our library, we can assign them to corresponding outputs. We have VA401i 16 loudspeaker on the first and the third channels, VA402i8 systems on the second channel, and the fourth channel is for subwoofer SA601i4. The equalization and limiter settings for these loudspeakers are already included in the preset file. Remember that limiter settings are linked with the system power and impedance. If several similar systems are connected in parallel, the limiter settings should not be changed. The presettings for the amplifier are ready. Let's come to the second amplifier. Name the inputs and outputs according to our project. Inputs: Room 1 and Room 2. Outputs: VA401i and VA402i. Check what we've done. This amplifier is used for 2 rooms where various music is played. We set the routing. Now the output sections. We assign the speakers from our library to the corresponding outputs. The loudspeakers VA401iL are on the first and the third channels. VA402iL are on the second and fourth channels. In this case, we use a device with 100-volt output and acoustic system with 100-volt transformers. The acoustic system power handling matches the 100-volt line transformers, so no additional limiting is required. Therefore, the limiters remain open and we do not work with them. Now we start the setting of the third amplifier. It works on triphonic set in stereo mode. We start again with naming the inputs and outputs. Inputs: stereo left and stereo right. Outputs: L601L, L601R, and LS153. Check the result. Set the routing. The device should work in the stereo mode with monosub. For the subwoofer, we set the sum for the left and the right channels with -6 dB levels. Output sections. Again, we assign the loudspeakers L601 from our library to the first and second channels. The third and fourth channels should operate in bridge mode for subwoofer. How can we do that? To do this, both of these channels should have the same setting and the same gain level. We select preset for LS123. The bridge mode is performed in the amp by default. We should just connect the loudspeaker between channel 3+ and channel 4- outputs. Previous setting is complete. Now we can save the project and name it. It's time to our installation. We have 3 amplifiers. Connect the USB cable to the first one, Hall. We check whether this amplifier is selected in the program. Store the setting to the amplifier. Now this amplifier is connected and accepts any changes to the setting online. We can see the settings for other amplifiers, but the link with the connected amplifier is still valid. Similarly, moving the USB cable from one amp to another, we store the settings to all amplifiers of our project. Now all we need to do is to set the sound of our system at the site. Don't forget to save the changes in the amplifier by pressing the Store button. The reverse process is also available. You can read the amplifier setting using the Load button. Finally, some useful tips. It is possible to set the delay and limiting of the output section settings. Why do we need 2 limiters on each channel? Limiting for the loudspeaker protection is set below. On the top of the output preset window, you can limit the volume in a given audio zone. The limiter operates in the lower of the 2 values. To set the limiter, enter the value of the impedance and the amplifier output voltage. In the right window, we obtain the value of the output power. Changing the value of the output voltage, we can easily pick up the required power. Previous configuration settings. You can quickly reset all settings by selecting the flat preset in each section. You can also select the setting for the subwoofer and satellite. Cutoff filter. In the settings, only Butterworth cutoff filters with slew rate 12 dB per octave are available. What should we do if we want to cut the system with a sharper filter? To do this, just set two identical filters. Cascade connection of two Butterworth filters give link with Raleigh filter with slope of 24 dB per octave. Saving. The program has many options for saving. You can save the settings of one of the output or input channels. You can save the setting of the whole amplifier. In this case, all parameters of the active amplifiers are saved. And the most global saving is the project saving. The setting of all amplifiers are saved in the project file simultaneously.